So ever since the whole German lady spoke on black couples issues, I feel like the whole black culture really came for her throat because they didn't like what she said, or she spoke the truth about what's the issue with black relationships and marriages and what's really going on between the two parties. But at some point, you're going to have to realize that if somebody who was married to a black man, a white woman, a German woman, an Asian woman who is married to a brother, understand that they will be in your business regardless of what are your bad hobbies are. And they will hold you accountable for your own actions regardless of what you do. So the fact that everybody keeps saying, oh, stay out of black people's business. Nigga, you ain't got no business. Because if you want people to stay out of your business, stop putting your personal information on social media. Because when you put stuff out on the internet, understand that it's forever. Make it make sense.
How many valid points that German woman had, or if she was right or wrong. She don't get a chance to speak on black women,
yes, she do.
black love, black marriages,
yes, she does.
and black anything.
Oh yes, I do, because I am proudly married to a black American man, and while I lived in America, I have seen a lot of women way too entitled, with a bad attitude, with a foul mouth, disrespectful, and sometimes it even seemed like they don't want a black man to find happiness or even for him to have a smile on his face. Now you may wonder why I would say that, because I know women have a problem to congratulate a man. They rather hate whatever he achieves, and then they would act like, oh, I don't care if that man dates someone else. I don't care if that man dates somebody from Europe. I don't care. He can go ahead.
And that's the thing I keep seeing on social media all the time. They claim that they don't care if they're dating outside of their race. In actuality, they do. They wish they had a brother like him. They wish they had a black man that can save them from the streets, from all of this fiasco that they're in. But in actuality, they're the problem. Because if you want a man to be in your life, someone to love you, take care of you, appreciate you, and marry you, you're going to have to work on some personal things on your own in order to be in a successful relationship. I'm no counselor or anything. I'm just giving you the specific facts here. Because 95% of the time, black women in America are the least marriage material because you guessed it, doing the OnlyFans, in the porn industry, being a 304, having multiple kids with multiple baby fathers, and living off child support and EBT cards. Not only that, but it's just, I think in order for the culture to get better, we have to get better for ourselves before we decide to just jump onto the next journey of our lives. But you can't get that here in America without anybody being so entitled to do everything they want all the time. Because they want everybody to just accept the delusions. And it's sad.
Anyway, well, if you don't care, why are so many of them getting mad? I don't understand that part. But before we get into today's video, everyone, I would like to thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, because we finally hit 13,000 subscribers. So thank you all
shout out to y'all, man.
Support. I know you
go support
are here
her.
For a reason.
Support this channel as well.
Want to learn, so
if you want more videos
like
this.
For my ladies showing up in the comments, in my DMs on Instagram. So thank you all for being here. I appreciate you guys. So let's get into today's video. I am not going to talk about the video that had went viral months ago, but I'm going to talk about the woman's attitude and her choice of words. Let's get into it, everyone.
And this is coming from a black woman that's been with her black husband for 15 years. And I ride for black men. You understand what I'm saying? The problem is...
Yes, I understand. And what is the problem? The fact that there always has to be a problem is a problem within itself.
Yeah.
Why do things, circumstances, and situations need a constant explanation for everything? I mean, why can't things just be, right? Why can't we just accept the fact that there are women who want to work with a man, who put a smile on the man's face, and they don't ask for anything in return? Why do we always have to talk about problems? There are always going to be problems. If we are waiting for all problems to have a solution, we're always going to be alone and miserable. But if there's something that I can do better today, each and every day, even if it's just a little thing, by packing a man's lunch, or picking him up, or picking something up for him, that's what counts right now. I don't need no explanation.
She needs to go. Like, it's all about building a part. Okay, so here's the thing about me. You know, as someone that is on the spectrum, I'm not really independent. Certain people go, and I can take her wherever she needs to go, because it's all about building a partnership. If you truly love someone, and if you appreciate them for being who they are, then they deserve all of the credit. But in all actuality, I think if both parties could just somehow learn how to work together without being so argumentative all the time, then it's obvious to me that they could have something going. The spark just need to show up when necessary.
I don't need any of that.
Black men and black women are failing each other. We're not hearing each other. We're not loving each other. We're not respecting each other. It's too much trauma. And what's happening is we're starting to look at other races as though they are our savior. You're my savior, a white man or a white woman. And all. Don't you see what the fuck is happening?
But that lady is using way too many fucks in her speech.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Starting to sound like Dr. Umar Johnson and his bullshit.
And black men seem to fail each other and don't hear each other. I don't think it has anything to do with any trauma.
At all.
I believe it has more something to do with it that women don't want to be told anything. Their ego flew over their head. It's way too big for their own good. Unless he's a real man, you can't tell a woman nothing. Unless he is the real man, he can't do nothing for her. She can have and do everything on her own. But this is my humble opinion. If a woman is not able to listen to a woman like myself, she is never going to listen to a man. If we cannot talk amongst one another, a woman will never be in a position to talk to a man. I'm sorry that this is a conversation on a whole different level, which I'm going to have to make a whole different video about. But unfortunately, a lot of women have messed up mouths and attitudes.
Women need men.
No! No. Of course not. No. Fuck no.
No.
Why? Can't live with them, can't live without them. We do not need them. Not at all.
No. We the prize.
I'm loving it, but not.
Do y'all see this right here? This is what delusion looks like. They all claim that they don't need us, they don't need men. Well, if that was the case, who built houses? Who built roads? Who created more jobs? Who created cameras? Who was the person that created the first Super Soaker? Who built even more casinos? Who built strip clubs? Who built Comic-Cons? Who made sure that you get, well, you have electricities, you have the heat bills, you have air conditionings in your house? Who was the ones that helped you produce babies? Us, men. And you see all of this delusion in this video, them flipping the bird, saying that they don't need us. Well, in 20 years, you'll be the one asking, where all the good men go? You drove them away with your crap.
Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. We the new niggas. We are the men these days, though. We are the men.
So what can you possibly tell a woman with this type of attitude? I mean, would
That's
you
insane.
be surprised that men are actually running off to find a woman that is a tad bit more feminine? And it really doesn't take much to be more feminine than the ladies that you have just seen in your clip. So I really can't blame these men. And you know what actually happens when a woman says that she doesn't need a man, that she just has one when she wants one? That means that she is running around the streets, she is out there in them streets, and she's going to spread her legs whenever she feels like
She's
she
spreading her
wants to
fish
have a
sticks
man.
in the streets.
That is not feminine within itself. A woman is not supposed to run around and give herself away to a man whenever she wants.
You can't tell them that because they're going to do it anyway. You see, modern women of nowadays have nothing to offer but booties, titties, vaginas, doing OnlyFans, and having this whole face. Nah, you have a 304 face. That's what you got. How do you expect a man to take you seriously if you're doing online prostitution, which is OnlyFans, spreading your fish sticks on the internet and into the streets, giving your body to random strangers, and then you come out pregnant, and you're gonna have an STD, HPV, among others? And the biggest issue I have is that they don't even care what they do, and they're proud of what they're doing. And you wonder why a lot of men don't take women seriously these days, because of the stupid allegations and all of this lying about being assaulted, knowing that you're the one that made it up in the first place. For one thing, let's not get it twisted. And not only that, but they lack accountability as well. Accountability is one of their biggest kryptonites ever.
A man, just because she feels like she wants to have a man at that moment, is losing a part of her femininity. Ladies, that is not ladylike. And you know what? These women are always talking about being traumatized. Sleeping around with multiple men is actually a way
when
to
they
be
did it to
traumatized,
themselves.
and you will not notice it in that
And yet they
moment.
blame us
The
for
trauma
it.
will
They
come
can't even
out
blame
a
anybody
lot
but
later.
themselves.
And ladies, the only thing that you will gain when you're sleeping around with random men are bodies that you could add onto your body count list in your whole pad. And that is all. Nothing more, nothing less.
What the fuck is happening? She has not walked them out in a black woman's shoes. She has not seen what a black woman has
cares?
seen. She has not experienced the trauma that a black woman experienced. That's
So what if she hasn't walked in a black woman's shoes? Every woman I see on social media in America, they all go through the same thing. So the fact that you're getting mad at her for speaking on black business, knowing that she's married to a black man, is utterly insane. And like I said in the beginning of the video, you claim that y'all don't like when other people, other races are in your business, and yet you put your stuff out on the internet for the whole world to know. So of course it's going to be everyone's business. Stop the cap.
have not walked a mile in black men's shoes. You understand what I'm saying? They are not out here being racially profiled. So for black people, black women and black men to look at that and say, well, she right. She had valid points. I don't give a fuck how many valid points she had. You still got black women out here like myself that's pushing black love, that's telling you, hey, this is how you do it. Now, some women might get it and some women might not. The same thing. We need more black men that's in love with black women.
And you said that you need more black men to respect black women. How? Them having these whole phase, acting like a 304, raising their daughters to be just as worse as you are? And you expect black men to take you seriously and respect you for that? I don't think so. Let me remind you that respect is something that's earned, not given. You go around demanding respect from black men, knowing that you have some dirty hobbies in your life, and you would rather sell yourself online than to do something productive with your life. Like, how is that going to look in your child's future? Come on now.
Black women to step up and say, yo, this shit that we seeing online, this shit ain't real because we still out here. You understand what I'm saying? Ain't nobody white gonna be able to tell me anything about
yes, they
my
will.
own
You need black men to love black women. I would say that I need modern Western women to start respecting an average working class man. Before we are talking about loving one another, because love is a result coming from respect.
Exactly.
And in my opinion, I don't need to walk in the shoes of a black woman in order to know how to love a man. It took me 2 months in America to realize, maybe even shorter than 2 months, that there is a lack of respect and a lack of love, a lack of feminine energy. I provide those three things. That's all I've did. I have not even done anything special.
I mean, granted, there are some good black women out there that truly love their partners. And it's rare to see that these days, especially if you go to church, you go to the restaurants, you go to out of town, and you see black couples loving one another. And yes, there are some good black women out there that will treat you like a king and respect you as man as you are. But I'm talking about certain ones that are in this delusional bubble, thinking that they don't have to work or do anything to just make themselves irrelevant. But the only issue here is that there's not a lot of good women out here. Whether you're black, Asian, white, Hispanic, German, Filipina. Like, if you choose the right person that can love you for who you are, then you're all set for life. But until then, we're all stuck in this delusional world that we're in. Society has changed in the worst way.
They will never be able to be in a position to love someone else. And that is so true. I'm not going to say that I knew everything about spirituality when I was 18 years old, the time when I met my husband, back then boyfriend. I'm just saying, but I was in the position of learning. I was in the position of wanting to grow with my husband. I was in the position of giving him what I was able to observe he didn't really have. And this is the truth, because so many people in the comments, they actually told me that I was right. And I am not talking about all women in America. I know ladies in the comments. I know there are fabulous women on my channel who are thinking like me and who are acting like me.
Exactly. What I was saying before.
Talking about that they don't need men. But if you don't make a man feel like he is needed, what is that man gonna want to stick around for? Women like myself.
I think the biggest thing that a lot of men in this world needs women that can give them, peace, but be patient with them, because some people are not really in the mindset of thinking logically. But if you help them enough and understand what they're saying and try to explain to them certain things without being nasty and meanful and disrespectful to them, and I think that a lot of good women will treat you better if you just be patient with them and they'll be patient with you. Just helping each other out is the best route to go out in. You know what I'm saying?
As women, on how to do better for themselves and for their partner, even for their future partner. But in order for that to happen, us as individuals have to admit that we have flaws. We have to admit
but
that
they don't want to do that.
The right or do the right thing all
they
of
don't
the
want to
time.
do that.
And the moment you notice and you acknowledge and accept the fact that you need to learn to do better, that's the first step to improvement. The moment you understand that there is somebody else, even if I don't look like you, but if I have the experience, why not want to learn from another person? I know I would. I wouldn't judge where they're from. I wouldn't judge what they said. I would sit back and think, does that make sense what she says? If so, I'm willing to learn.
So no one can question black women. No one can correct black women. No one can offer information and advice to black women. Nobody.
Apologize for the lighting and the sound. I keep seeing this, this video, this German woman keep popping up all over social media, all over TikTok, and people responding to it. And, the responses that she's getting is what I'm more interested in. And as you just saw, the young lady that responded to her in the first clip, I would just have to say, like, what type of knowledge what type of knowledge can you gain from that type of mindset? I was always been a firm believer in, sometimes we could be so close to something you cannot see the bigger picture of it, because it's right here in our face all the damn time. Like, you can't. It's hard to discern something when you're just right up against it. It's not until you kind of pull things back and really get like a wide shot that you can really see what's going on. And oftentimes that comes from people that are on the outside looking in on a situation, because they're not, invested in the same way that we are, in the sense of, not saying they don't deem it as important. It's because they're not going through, as she said, they're not going through what we going through, right? I agree with that. However, because they're not going through what we're going through, there's no emotion in their thinking. There's no emotion tied to whatever, how do you say, whatever they come to determine out of situation. They can look at the situation rationally, logically, and make a decision. Nobody needs to walk in somebody's shoes to know something is wrong.
Exactly.
Or know something is bad. I don't need to experience what you went through to know it's not okay just for knowing that.
I'm so glad he said that, because I think a lot of black people like us go through racial discriminations and situations and stuff like that in our lives. But if you could just somehow stay out of it and focus on your life and what you do and do what you love, and you have no issues dealing with life in general. If you pay your bills, your rent, pay your taxes, just be responsible as an adult, then yeah, you ain't got nothing to worry about. So I also like when he said that you don't have to walk in someone else's shoes to know what they're going through and understand what they're dealing with every single day. Like, it ain't just black people that face racial discrimination. Asians, whites, Hispanics, German, like, it's the human race that deal with racial discrimination. It ain't just us, it's other people as well.
Are still people who know how to use their common sense. Just by the way that these two were talking, it already seems so much more enlightening. I mean, there's a difference when you sit down and talk to somebody who is just aggressive and uses curse words all of the time, or you sit down and you're talking to people who are willing to learn, to listen, who accept other people's experiences, opinions, and everything. This young woman with her beautiful self, she sounds so much more mature than the woman who's already married for 15 years. And you tell me, who is more eligible to tell or teach a woman how to become wifey material? Would it be the woman that was just, did you do your inner work? How do you deal with rejection? Have you ever been in a situation that tested your energy, that tested everything in you? Are you willing to cater to a man? What triggers you? If something triggers you, have you tried to dig deep and then figure out what's the reason you're triggered? Because if you are in a relationship and things are triggering you when your man says something to you, you got to do that inner work. It is not what your man has told you.
Right, and control your emotions.
Have not worked on internally yet. Those are like the things that I would run with a woman, like those steps. I would run through all of these steps with her. Women like the one from the first clip will probably say things like, oh, we're way too traumatized. If he cannot help you heal your trauma, he's just going to add more trauma onto your trauma. No. I mean, way too stressful, too stressful. The moral of today's video is following. We should not make loving someone about their skin color. Love is energy. I understand when people are talking about black love, you want to keep amongst your community. I understand that. But if you have somebody like myself, and I am not the only one, there are plenty of women like myself out there who are willing and want to teach other women how to do better for themselves.
It's a shame that a lot of modern women these days were not taught how to treat and love a man, and also have self-respect and morals for themselves. It's a shame that the mothers didn't taught them life skills. The system didn't taught them better. It had to be somebody from overseas that can teach you how to do traditional lifestyle things to keep your marriage and to keep your relationship successful. It shouldn't have to be that way, but it's unfortunate it is.
And I want to finish this video off today by reading a quote out of this book that I got today. It is by James Allen, and it is called As a Man Thinketh. It is only 25 pages, but it's packed with some deep, deep knowledge. I'm going to read it to you. His or her wishes and prayers are only gratified and answered when they harmonize with his or her thoughts and actions. That sentence is timeless, and it can be applied to so many people's lives, right? Because ladies, and I'm always going to have to say ladies because I love you and I want you to have a functioning, happy relationship. But like I said, it all starts with you. If you are wishing for that supportive man, that man that's going to carry you in his arms and give you everything that you have ever wished for and all of these good things, you have to align with your wishes. You have to be able to serve a man so you can get the things that you deserve from him. You are not going to get a man that's just going to throw everything into your hands and then you're just going to be this happy wife, happy life. That's a fairy tale. Books like these are real information. So if you don't know how to work on yourself, and if you don't know how to be kind, how to be respectful, how to be positive and flow in this high energy, you're not going to get that. I hope everyone out there really understands that I come from a place of love. I want to support, I want to empower, I want to uplift, I want to enlighten, I want to be a role model. And you know what? I'm so
You're already a role model
all of
to
you
us
actually
men,
being here and
you know what I'm
taking the
saying?
time out of your day and watching this video, because I have so much to tell. And please don't mind me if I use certain videos as an example. You know, I'm just doing that not to make anybody look bad. I'm just using women as an example. And I'm a woman. I cannot tell a man how to be a man. That's why you would see mainly women in my videos. So thank you.
This is a good video. Shout out to this content creator for doing an excellent job of breaking down some barriers of these modern women who are toxic, bitter, and evil, like the first lady in that clip that is in her delusional mindset. And I'll say this as a black man with somebody who was on the spectrum. If you truly love someone, you want to protect them. You want to be there for them as much as they'll be there for you. Like, it's all about doing the 50-50 stuff. And not only that, but teamwork. You know what I'm saying? It's a partnership. I mean, if you do stuff as a couple together, then your life in your relationship and marriage will last a lifetime if you let it. So my advice to any man that is watching this video: sometimes the world may not understand you, but God will. That's why I've always said, if you go to church, if you have God in your life, only He will lead you to a different path in your life. And all you got to do is take advantage of that opportunity and turn it into something better but greater. Same can be said about modern women too. If you take the time to change yourself, get therapy, or better yet, go to church, learn the message from the pastor, read the Bible, to have a clear understanding of your thinking, what you're saying, and the way you're thinking and doing things in life. And I think if you learned those good things, you should have learned a long time ago as an adult, as a teenager, as a child. I think chances are your man is going to love you and appreciate you for being you. And I think that's the most successful things about life in general. Get you a partner that can love you and appreciate you. It's not that hard. The only way for you to do that is to work on yourself first before jumping along and living your life. So once again, shout out to this content creator. Link to the original video will be down below.